They say Forest Park changes after dusk. Locals avoid it, warning of shadows that move without light and laughter that doesn't belong to any child. But last week, something truly horrifying was discovered. It started when a hiker named Imran wandered into the woods just before sunset, chasing the golden light for one last photo. Deeper in the trees, he heard giggles, innocent at first. As he approached a small clearing, he saw them, 3 young girls in tattered dresses, their hair tangled with leaves, sitting in a circle. At first glance, they seemed to be playing with sticks and stones. But as he stepped closer, he froze in terror. Those weren't stones. They were bones, small, brittle, and unmistakably human. One girl looked up, her eyes black as pitch, and whispered, "He sees us." Imran stumbled back, branches snapping underfoot. But the girls never moved. They just smiled, unnaturally wide. Behind them, the trees began to creak, not with the wind, but with whispers. Dozens of voices. Chanting. Laughing. Imran turned and ran. He never reached the trail. His phone, found days later, had only one final video. And in it, the girls weren't playing anymore. They were feeding something. The video on Imran's phone went viral in underground forums. Experts debated its authenticity, but locals knew better. Forest Park had always been cursed. What disturbed everyone wasn't the footage itself, it was the sound. A strange, guttural chant in a forgotten language, looping beneath the eerie laughter. A group of paranormal investigators decided to explore the park at night. Among them was Arsene, a skeptic with a camera. They followed the same trail Imran had taken. As they reached the clearing, the night turned unnaturally quiet. No crickets. No wind. Just silence. Then, the ground trembled slightly beneath their feet. Arsene's flashlight flickered as they entered the clearing. The bone circle was still there, but now it had grown, forming a strange symbol. And in the center stood the same 3 girls. Their skin looked pale, almost gray, and their eyes glowed faintly. "We've been waiting," one of them said. The team tried to back away, but the forest behind them shifted. Trees leaned closer, their branches forming a cage. Panic set in. Arsene lifted his camera, but it only showed static. The girls began dancing slowly, whispering in that same cursed language. That night, only Arsene made it back, screaming, blind, and clutching a handful of ash. He never spoke again. After Arsene was institutionalized, strange occurrences multiplied around Forest Park. Pets went missing. People complained of whispers outside their windows at night. Some claimed to see children dancing in the woods when it rained, though no one dared to follow them. Imran, guilt-ridden and unable to sleep, became obsessed with the incident. He started researching ancient folklore, digging through forbidden texts and old local legends. That's when he uncovered something horrifying. Centuries ago, 3 sisters were executed for practicing dark witchcraft in that very forest. But they weren't burned, they were buried alive beneath the old oak trees. It was said that if someone disturbed their grave and children danced in their name, they would rise again, not as witches, but as vessels of ancient, vengeful spirits. Imran realized what he had filmed wasn't kids pretending. It was the beginning of a summoning. He returned to Forest Park alone, determined to stop whatever was coming. As he reached the clearing again, the symbol in the dirt was now glowing faintly red. The girls weren't there, but the bones were moving on their own, slowly assembling into shapes. Suddenly, Imran heard his own voice whispering behind him, "You brought us back." He turned around, and saw himself staring back. Imran stood frozen, his heart racing in his chest as he locked eyes with his own reflection. But it wasn't just a reflection. The version of himself before him was not his own. Its eyes were hollow, blackened as if drained of all humanity. The air around him turned cold, his breath visible in the chilling night. The shadowy figure of Imran spoke in a voice that wasn't his. "You shouldn't have come. Now, they know." The ground beneath his feet trembled, and the once faint glow of the bones began to pulse, throbbing with energy. Imran tried to step back, but his legs were frozen, as if the earth itself had claimed him. Behind him, he could hear the eerie laughter of children, slow, menacing, and distant. The wind whispered words he couldn't understand, but the meaning was clear: the witches had returned. The ritual was complete. A sudden, unearthly shriek pierced the air as the spirits of the 3 witches emerged from the darkness, their hollow faces illuminated by the blood-red moon. They circled around him, chanting in a language that made his skin crawl. As they closed in, Imran felt his body grow cold, the blood draining from his limbs. The witch-like figure of his own reflection reached out and grabbed him. "It's too late. We're free now." Imran couldn't scream. He couldn't even move. The witches' laughter echoed through the forest, their shadows stretching and swirling like dark smoke. Imran could feel their icy hands tightening around his throat. His pulse thundered in his ears as he struggled to breathe, his limbs turning numb. The woods had become a prison, a realm where the dead and the living converged under the haunting glow of the blood moon. His mind raced, memories flooding his senses. The bones, the whispers, the sinister chill. Everything had been a part of their plan. They had been waiting for someone foolish enough to stumble into their domain, someone whose spirit could fuel their resurrection. One of the witches, her face gaunt and pale, whispered directly into his ear. "Your soul will join us, just like the others. Forever." Imran's vision blurred. He was slipping into darkness, his body failing him. But in the deepest recess of his mind, a desperate thought flared: there must be a way to break the curse. He gathered every last ounce of willpower, fighting against the overwhelming force that sought to claim him. And then, with a final, blood-curdling scream, Imran broke free. He ran, his body propelled by pure adrenaline. Behind him, the witches shrieked in fury, the sound echoing across the forest. But no matter how fast he ran, he knew, deep down, that the curse of the witches would haunt him forever.